Dave Fogler in the San Francisco studio. I just got back from Maine, where I design and build and film on a little project we are going to review. To do so, we rewind 6 months to when I left San Francisco and traveled east. So 6 months in San Francisco, 6 months in northern Maine. This is my third summer here, day one. I'm in the midst of a full-bore restoration of this place, and this week I will give a tour of the entire property, review the work done to date, and the work ahead. I've been here for 5 minutes. And I'm bleeding already. And did the ancient electrical system hang on for one more year? Nothing. The history of this place is wonderful and relatively long by American historical standards. Ew. The place to start is to know that this camp was built by my wife Mary's great-great-grandparents. Ugh, this mouse seems to have been trapped and then eaten by something else. Built by this crew right here, Albert and Cordelia. Time to get out of my city clothes. The intro health and wellness tour continues with what I call the command tent, which is the temporary shop from which I run this restoration operation. It looks okay. Year 3, day 2. There is no coffee. Thank you. There was no coffee, so I had to go to town. I got some groceries. Couldn't put them away because the fridge was incredibly filthy. Then the compressor fan started to make a horrible noise that sounded like a dying squirrel. I have the freezer taken apart and I'm going to try to oil it and make the sound go away. Okay, I have now managed to make coffee. Yeah, and it's 1:20 on day 2. Crazy. Let's get the water flowing. Nice. Lay of the land. We're at the top of the property. It's 4 acres down to the lake. Acres, not a distance measurement. I get it. It's a 4-acre lot. Up here at the top, for decades, there was a tennis court, which we will restore at some point. We're getting down close to the lake, and the eagles live right there. And here we are at the command tent. The land is extremely steep right here on big chunks of ledge. Back in the day, there was a carriage house here. And really, up until the 1970s, visitors to this camp, they would have followed a trail along this ridge to somewhere around this adorable little Totoro lamp. And there was a set of wooden stairs that you took down this hill. We very much like the idea of approaching this place from up in the woods via a set of stairs, and it's on the to-do list. The steep approach to the lake continues, and something I really look forward to doing is building a dock structure down here to improve access to the water. Long dock, run, 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 dive. That's the plan. We have a boathouse, which is magnificent and rare. You can't build this close to the water anymore. It is beautiful inside. It needs a new foundation. It needs to be pulled square. I'd like to put in a couple windows one of these days. The bulk of the hefty work I've been doing over the last 2 summers is to replace the entire original post and beam foundation. I have been putting in 8x8 hemlock beams on top of either new cedar or hemlock posts on concrete footings or walls, all of which either go to ledge or below frost line. I haven't really opened up down here yet. I suppose the big thing to do in here this season is pour the concrete floor. And the interior. This magnificent porch, I'm going to rebuild utilizing the same exact design, but build it out of either cypress or Alaskan yellow cedar. So it'll be just like this, but straight and made of beautiful wood. The big center room, aside from the porch, will be the heart of this operation. We're going to put in a brick fireplace. An 8x8 hemlock beam is going to go in to lift up the center of this room about 4 inches. And in general, in every room we'll look at, I'll be working with the following design criteria. The look of this camp falls into 2 major time periods. From the late 1880s at some point until around 1930, it was a very rustic wooden camp with all timbers exposed, no electricity, no plumbing. In the 30s, it was upgraded. All the walls were closed in with this fiberboard, this homosote, knob and tube electricity, plumbing was brought in. In a room like this, we're pretty much going to leave it as is. The look of this homosote with the wooden trim is a common look in old camps, and I think it looks great. In the center room, I've removed the homosote from the ceiling to expose this gorgeous pumpkin pine, and I am optimistic that we can have some areas with exposed wood and some areas with homosote, and it will stitch together. This just fantastic bathroom. Replace that toilet with a contemporary toilet that looks old, and this room will be 90% of the way there. The kitchen is the only area in this place that was completely remodeled after the 30s. It was all paneled in this knotty pine as things were in the early 70s. I should say, another design parameter in the decision-making matrix around here is that we want to be able to have big crews stay here. And we want to have dinners for 25 or 30 out on that giant porch, meaning this kitchen needs to be able to handle big meals. Did I mention the shop? I did not. There's a lot. We're at the back of the camp. The stairs that we talked about go up the steep hill right here. At the top of those stairs, there's going to be I don't know what to call it, a barn. In that barn will be a studio, a shop, and anything else required to service this operation. 21st century is up there on top of the hill. Then you leave that behind, come down the stairs, and travel back in time. It's Friday, day 4. And I'm greatly looking forward to kicking this place around this summer. I mean, it's no cocktail train, but it'll do. Okay. In early May, fire and coffee are critical tools of the trade. $6.25. While it's still below 40 outside, I'm going to edit a bit by the fire. Could absolutely do this all day, but I'm going to let the fact that one of the toilets is running full time and both sinks are leaking dictate the projects for the rest of the day. And downstairs sink. This was updated at some point with a cheap, thin drain assembly, and I'd love to give it something like we just saw upstairs, but where will we find such a thing? Well, when someone is restoring an old car and they get another of that car to use as parts, a parts car, well, this is kind of like that. Welcome to Parts Camp. Our neighboring camp, which is one of the remaining old camps on the lake, changed hands last fall. We've gotten to know the new owners, and they are making upgrades and are happy to have me salvage some things to incorporate into our camp. Well, done for the summer, on the road to Dun with a functioning nightlight. $8 a dinner of baked beans and cornbread, because we're in Maine. Cheers. This is the current weather. We are here. This is my camera rig. Not complaining, mind you, just planning accordingly. First guests arrive in 8 days. So suddenly getting this place up and running has a deadline. 7 rainy days, 7 projects. At a minimum. Working in this room today, let's review. It's right in the center of this whole camp. I tend to call it the center room. I've seen photos of this desk here from way, way back. This wall always had a wood stove. Gonna put in a fireplace, and I'm going to salvage the fireplace from Parts Camp. Here's another little corner of the camp you can almost pretend is done. Moving on. With the fireplace here and the door here, challenging little area to design, I'd like to put in a window seat right here. Fire. With kindling under the window seat and firewood in a, shelf rack firewood here. This corner, the focus of attention for the day. I need to pull out the last of the ceiling board, and I'm going to move my makeshift digital studio camera department into this corner and expand a bit, settle in. thunder and lightning happening out there. Project number 1, day 1, center room studio, done. Then I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a shelf? And hey, it looks like there used to be something here. Maybe it was a shelf, I can't remember. And then I found this photo. Then I went up to the tent and did some digging in Antique Mountain. And then I remembered that I had asked Mary's cousin, who grew up coming here, why loud was written on the wall. It's because there was a telephone here, and that's the way you toggled the switch to raise the ringer volume. This all sent me back to the old picture supply. The little cup holding pencils in that photo, I am still using to hold pencils on my desk. And after a quick trip over to Parts Camp, close up in the fall, all the soft goods in the camp go into plastic garbage bags. They go into this bedroom. It is time to get all this sorted for the summer, which raises the question, where will all these sheets, towels, and blankets go? Last summer, I took apart this entire wardrobe and moved it from the downstairs to the upstairs. But there are no shelves to hold said linens. A big part of the reason why I haven't put shelves in here yet is that I'd like to find some boards that more or less match this old beast, and those boards haven't presented themselves. Well, out here on the porch, when the Homosote was put in, these 1x4s were installed to attach the Homosote to. They're a perfectly fine piece of lumber. Let's pull them and build some shelves from them. In the interest of public safety, here's a play-by-play breakdown of events. Clearly I'm horribly positioned on this ladder, and yes, I should have stopped and moved it, but this job was repetitive and tedious, and I can tell you it is always the repetitive tasks that get you. The board gives way unexpectedly, and right here I know I'm going down. What I see is a lot of boards with nails sticking up in the air, so I am calculating a landing strategy. Elegantly leaping for a clear spot, though I also should have paid attention to that crowbar, because it gets me right on the cheek, and in the absurd sequence that follows, it ricochets around and hits me in the shin. A bump and a bruise, I was fine, but please take ladders seriously. I've removed exactly half of the strapping from the porch ceiling, and that will be sufficient for day 2. I have enough lumber to do the shelves. Tomorrow we build shelves. I wasn't really done. I removed all the strapping, cleaned everything. I've never vacuumed so many ceilings. Porch is good to go. I even cleaned all the crazy crystal barware. Day 2, definitely done now, though. Designing and building for this old place really is a joy. Being able to pull 100-year-old white pine boards from somewhere else in the camp, give them a light sand, and with a bit of relatively simple fabrication, have them look like they've always belonged in this linen cabinet. It's good stuff. Today, I am going to unload all 20 odd bags of soft goods, sort all the linens, sort all the towels, deal with the pillows, and put it all in the new cabinet. No one should have to watch that. A quick check-in, simply because I want credit and sympathy for this job. A glorious break in the rain, but it's not even up to 40 yet, and it's the cold that's getting to me. So I have a raging fire going. I've retreated back to the kitchen from my new editing setup, and I'm going to work in here and warm myself up today. That doesn't need to be watched either. Hey, it's Friday. We made it. Almost an inch of rain forecast for the next 12 hours, but look at early next week. Most importantly, are we ready to host people this weekend? Let's go back inside and have an inspection. So I didn't get to this bedroom. Don't look here. But if extra guests did arrive this weekend and needed to find sheets of the appropriate size, I'm a little bit qualified to have an opinion on what the world's best workbench might be. Oh, the bugs are bad. I worked in the Industrial Light and Magic model shop from '96 to 2004. We had workbenches, relatively simple, and this might be sentimentality talking, but I still consider them the ideal workbench. They were 4x8, they had a shelf down low, power strips mounted to either side, and you could move them easily. They had casters that would lock, unlock. And really, ever since I left the model shop, I've wanted one for myself. And then, recently, I was clearing out and salvaging from a neighboring camp, and I came upon a dining room table, and it was heading to the dump, but it occurred to me that in its basic construction and proportions, similar to the ILM workbench. So today I am going to transform it into a reasonable facsimile of the original. Some patterns have emerged after doing this for 3 years. One of which is that my shop, it pays the price for the first few weeks of getting everything else on the property up and running. I frantically pull things in and out and it becomes a complete mess. I'm gonna spend the next 2 days working on it and we will magically smash cut to its completion. And there you have it. One command tent ready for a summer of restoration work. When we took over this property, all the things in it came with it. There are more tables and cabinets than one could ever use in a home, so I've been adopting a lot of them as shop furniture. Maybe not forever, but for now I've got this lined up with things stored in drawers. Big adhesive, sandpaper, tape, chunky metal. And on the other side of the room, I made more narrow and at least made a little bit structural this old plywood table that I was using last summer on sawhorses. And in its new location, my version of a film production magnet board, ground control where I track all the work, and my all-important shop thinking chair. And here is the focus of the work for the next couple days. If nothing else, it's really sturdy, but some modifications needed. And I'm gonna take things apart a little bit in order to get those started.
What's the size again?
3/8.
3/8. Okay. Cable Romex connector.
Yeah.
Okay, so this must be it. And you are all set. Have a good one.
You too.
Hello there.
A couple years ago, you had a product in stock, 1/8" really dense fiber.
1/4 inch, and I got an 1/8" paneling like that, but white on one side.
a hopefully brief distraction. When I built this temporary platform for this temporary tent to house my temporary shop, I thought it would be here for 2 summers. It's certainly going to be here for 3, and the front foot of this is exposed to the rain and it is falling apart. I cannot tell you how pleased I am to have something like this. And I've been thinking about the term workbench. This doesn't have any clamping ability or vices. It's more of a project bench. There is nothing as foundational to a new project than a clear, flat surface waiting for something to happen on it. Now that I have this, I am more likely to do things like restore this synthesizer that I played in high school. And that has to be a good thing. Our capacity goal with the camp restoration is to sleep 25. At the moment, we have beds for... This week's design and build is all about 3 bears. Not really, but it does involve 3 beds, which will add 4 new spots to make 13. Bed project I would rather not be dealing with. Number 1, please let this be something I can figure out and accomplish in 1 day or less. There's the frame. I wish it were done, but I'm going to need some platform doodads to support the 2 twin boxes. All right, bed frame number 2. Interesting, it's exactly 6 feet. So it needs to be 3.5 inches longer. And I know how to do that now. This furniture set is a wacky Wizard of Oz bit of design, and this mystery gap, also a slightly mysterious Wizard of Oz bit of design. I like it. It tells a story about this old frame and a new mattress. 52 1/8. Oh, a ½ inch. It is too narrow by a ½ inch. All right, the mattress is definitely squishy down to about 52 inches. It'll be hard to make this bed, but I will take that route and regret it 10 years from now. Back from a few hours in the command tent. Let's get this assembled and see if we can cram the full-sized platform in. The platform is, it's really tight. I wish I had another 1/8 inch, but it is not bad, and it's fine, and it's working. Oh, baby. The beds, they are done. Great success. It is early Monday morning, and I believe the best way to illustrate what's afoot is by boat. That is our camp, but that is not the subject of our story this morning. This is our neighboring camp to the east, and the new owners are going to rebuild. Before they rebuild, I'm salvaging everything out of there. And at this point, the bulldozers arrive in 5 days. So with that deadline ahead of me, there's no more time for messing about in boats. I think I'll start this week's operations with the job I'm looking forward to least, which is removing this toilet, which I think is a 1930s era toilet and matches the sink in our downstairs bathroom. Oy. Ah. Oh, big dead spider. Moving on, kitchen sink. Moving on to tiny bathroom sinks. Oh, that was easy. Right on the brick. I guess that's one thing a lens hood is for. Okay, trusty camera, you still with us? Hey, we seem to be working. Good job, camera. And there you have one 1930s, best guess, relocated, deconstructed fireplace. Just a little bit of work left. I have one more day, and the big job of pulling out the kitchen cabinets still needs doing. But tomorrow. Excuse me. These cabinets were built in place. They're not going to just come out as units. But I would love to not have to take them apart board by board. Okay, the main event. What if we go about this from the back side? It never occurred to me to actually take out the whole wall. This week's design and build will take place in a mosquito-infested, filthy crawl space, replacing a beam, figuring out how to swap out this current beam with another beam while not tipping this place over. Should be interesting. The engineering mysteries of this entire structure slowly reveal themselves, and this is a weird one. The wall studs are not sitting on a bottom plate. When I lift what are essentially floor joists, they're moving up the floor. They have nothing to do with holding up the entire camp. The camp's being held up on 2x4s that are sitting on the foundation beam. Down here, the wall stud isn't even making it down to the beam anymore because it rotted and has fallen apart. There's no wonder this side of the camp is slumping. And I know this is a lot of talking for me, but it gets worse. These two 2x4s are the ones that are completely rotted out. So the only thing holding up this chimney are the exterior shiplap boards that are nailed to these 2x4s, and as a unit are providing enough shear strength to hold all this up. I know it's been like this for a generation, but all of a sudden I'm in a hurry to get the weight off of this wall. Yeah, I tried really hard to convince myself that I could do everything I need to do while leaving this chimney in place, but after thinking about it for about 3 minutes, here I am tearing it out. I'm right back where I started. I have 3 beams in place that I am jacking up and then bracing things on a series of posts. This beam is now floating, and importantly, the wall stud is floating as well. I landed all of the floor beams onto the new foundation beam. With the interior jacks, I floated all of the wall studs, trimmed them, and installed an actual base plate. And now we enter the final act, the main event. The point where I'm standing is 6 inches higher. The ceiling and the ceiling joists still have about 3 inches to go. Yeah. On the docket is a concrete slab floor for the saloon, and I'll need to do it in several roughly 4x8 patches since I couldn't possibly mix and pour a monolithic slab in one day. From the beginning, this restoration has been heavy on concrete, so I'm happy to say this week we'll see the last of the big pours, but it is the biggest yet. It's a good thing I've had some practice. This place has really needed a new roof since the moment we took it over. The question now is who will do it, when they will do it, how they will do it. I would love to put cedar shingles on this place, which was the original roof in the 1880s. There's a host of factors around cedar shingle roofs to be considered and debated. Not hard to see why we need a new roof. And this northwest section of the roof has developed its share of leaks. So for now, falling back on the old green tarp. Could have gone blue, but green is a much classier choice for roof covering. It's hard to feel like I'm so far away from a beautiful cedar roof, but this will do for now. I've had an open build permit for 3 years now to replace the post and beam foundation. Am I completely done? I'm not 100% done, but I'm darn close. So I've contacted the town inspector. He's going to come this afternoon, but with 1 work day available before he comes, I'm inspired to do a couple quick things like install proper diagonal bracing on a handful of my posts. I'm going to need to pull out the old Pythagorean theorem for this. As this season winds to a close and to celebrate the closing of my permit, which happened yesterday, I'm going to take a couple days and close in some more saloon walls. And that will be deeply satisfying.